je devrais pleurer, mais je n'ai pas. destructions ne sont pas là. Les canapés bleu palais désaccorés avec marron. Oui, en verre. Je n'ai pas pu, j'en ai réalise qu'autre bien sans gravité. Alors c'est ça. Je m'attendais à plus que des meubles des secondes pièces et des sauvants. Oh, tel est l'amour, je devrais pleurer, mais je n'ai pu pas.
It's with you.
Huh. So, here we are.
Yes, Mr. Garcin.
And this is what it looks like?
Yes.
Second Empire furniture, I observe. Well, well. I dare say one gets used to it in time.
Some do, some don't.
Are all the other rooms like this one?
How can they be? We cater to all sorts of people here, each with their own decor, preferences. Some people have no use for a Second Empire chair.
What use do you think I would have for one? Do you know who I was? Ah, well, it's no great matter. And to tell the truth, I had a habit of living amongst furniture I didn't relish, and in false positions. I'd rather come to like it. False positions in a Louis Philippe dining room. You know the style? Well, that had its points too. Bogus and bogus, so to speak.
And you'll find that living in a Second Empire drawing room has its points.
Really? Yes, yes. I dare say. But still, I wasn't expecting this. You know what they tell us down there?
What about?
No, about this residence.
Really, sir? How can you believe such cock and bull stories told by people who've never set foot here? For of course, if they had.
Quite so. But I say, where are the instruments of torture?
The what?
Oh, the racks, the red-hot pincers, the other paraphernalia.
You must have your little joke, sir.
My little joke? Oh, I see. No, I wasn't joking. No windows, I see. No mirrors, that's to be expected. And nothing breakable. But damn it all, they might have left me my toothbrush.
That's good. So you haven't yet gotten over your, what you call it, sense of human dignity yet. Excuse my smiling.
I'll ask you to be more polite. I quite realize the position I'm in, but I won't tolerate your...
Sorry, sir. No offense meant. It's just that all our guests ask me the same questions. Silly questions, if you'll pardon my saying so. Where's the torture chamber? That's the first thing they ask. All of them. They don't bother their heads about the bathroom requisites, that I can assure you. But after a bit, once they've got their nerve back, they start in about their toothbrushes and whatnot. Good heavens, Mr. Garcin, can't you use your brain? What, I ask you, would be the point of brushing your teeth?
Yes, of course, you're right. And why should one want to look at oneself in the glass? But this bronze contraption on the mantelpiece, that's a different story. Suppose there'll be days I find myself staring my eyes out at it. Staring my eyes out. Do you see what I mean? All right, let's put our cards on the table. I assure you I'm quite conscious of my position. Do you know what it feels like? A man's drowning, choking, sinking by inches, till only his eyes are above water. And what does he see? This bronze atrocity by, what's the fella's name? Barbier, a collector's piece. As in a nightmare. I'm sure that's part of their plan. And I'm sure you're under orders not to answer any questions, and I won't insist. But don't forget, my good fella, I've got a good notion of what's coming to me, so don't you boast you've caught me off my guard. I'm facing the situation, facing it. So that's that. No toothbrush, and no bed either. One never sleeps, I take it?
That's so.
That's to be expected. And why should one sleep? A sort of drowsiness steals up behind you and tickles you behind your ears, and then you feel your eyelids closing. But why sleep? You lie down on the sofa, and in a flash, sleep flies away. Miles and miles away. So you rub your eyes, you get up, and it starts all over again.
That's what you are.
You keep quiet, please. I'm facing the situation, as I said before, facing it fairly and squarely. I won't whine. I know what's coming to me, but I won't have it springing up behind me before I have time to size it up. And you call that being romantic. So it comes to this. One never gets tired, and why should one sleep when one's never sleepy? Stands to reason. Wait a moment. There's a snag somewhere, something disagreeable. Why now should there be something disagreeable? Oh, I see. It's life without a break.
What do you mean by that?
I mean? Oh, yes, I see now. I see why there's something so beastly, so damn bad-mannered about the way you stare at me. They're paralyzed.
What are you talking about?
Your eyelids. We move ours up and down. Blinking, we call it. It's like a small black shutter that comes down and makes a break. Everything goes black. Your eyes are moistened. You have no idea how restful, refreshing it is. 4,000 little rests per hour. 4,000 little respites. So that's the idea, to live without eyelids. Oh, don't play the fool. You know what I mean. No eyelids, no sleep. It stands to reason. Down there, I had my nights. I slept. I always had good nights and happy little dreams. There was a green field, just an ordinary field, and I used to stroll through it. Is it daytime now?
Can't you see the lights are on?
Yes, I see. It's your daytime. And outside?
Outside?
Damn it, you know what I mean. Beyond that wall.
There's a passage.
And at the end of the passage?
More rooms, more passages, and stairs.
And what lies beyond them?
That's all.
What? But surely you must take a day off sometimes. Where do you go?
To my uncle's place. He's the head valet here. He's got a room on the 3rd floor.
I should have guessed as much. And where's the light switch?
There isn't any.
What? Can't one turn off the light?
Well, the management could cut off the current if they wanted to, but I can't recall their ever having done so on this floor. We've got all the electricity we want.
So that's the idea, and to live with my eyes open all the time.
To live, did you say?
Oh, don't let's quibble over words. With my eyes open forever, with broad daylight in my eyes and in my head. And suppose I took that contraption on the mantelpiece and dropped it on the lamp. Wouldn't it go out?
You can't move it. It's too heavy.
Ah, you're right. It's too heavy.
Very well. If you won't be needing me any longer, I'll be off.
What, you're going? Wait. That's a bell, isn't it? And if I ring, you're bound to come.
Well, yes, that's so, in a way. But you never can be too sure about that bell. There's something wrong with the wiring, and it doesn't always work.
It's working all right.
So it is. But I shouldn't count on it too much if I were you. It's capricious. Well, I really must be going now. Yes, sir.
No. Never mind. What's this?
Can't you see it's an ordinary paper knife?
Are there any books here?
No.
Then what's the use of this? Very well, you can go. Sir, come back, sir. Please. Sir, come back, sir. Please. Please come back, sir.
This way, madame. Did you call, sir?
No.
This is your room, madame. If there's any information you require. Most of our guests have quite a lot to ask me, but I won't insist. Anyhow, as regards the toothbrush, and the electric bell, and that thing on the mantel shelf, this gentleman can tell you anything you want to know as well as I could. We've had a little chat, him and me.
Where's Florence? Didn't you hear? I asked you about Florence. Where is she?
I haven't an idea.
Oh, that's the way it is. Torture by separation. Well, as far as I'm concerned, you won't get anywhere. Florence was a tiresome little fool, and I shan't miss her in the least.
I beg your pardon, who do you suppose I am?
You? Why, the torturer, of course.
Oh, that's a good one. Too comic for words. I, the torturer. So you came in here, looked at me, and thought I was one of the staff. Of course, it's that silly fellow's fault. He should have introduced us. The torturer, indeed. I'm Joseph Garcin, journalist and man of letters by profession. And as we're in the same boat, so to speak, you are Mrs.
Not Mrs. I'm unmarried.
All right. That's a start, at least. Well, now that we've broken the ice, let me ask you this. What makes you think I look like a torturer? And how does one recognize torturers when one sees them? Evidently, you've ideas on the subject.
They look frightened.
Frightened? But how ridiculous. Of whom should they be frightened? Their victims?
Oh, laugh away, but I know what I'm talking about. I've often watched myself in the glass.
In the glass? Oh, how beastly of them. They've removed anything even slightly resembling a glass. Well, anyhow, I can assure you, I'm not frightened. I don't take my position lightly. I realize its gravity all too well. I'm not afraid.
Well, that's your affair. Must you be here all the time, or do you take a stroll outside now and then?
The door's locked.
Oh, that's too bad.
Well, I quite understand it bores you having me here. Well, frankly, I'd rather be alone myself. I'm trying to sort things out, put my life in order, and one does that best by oneself. But I'm sure we'll manage to pull along together somehow. I'm no talker. I don't move much, and I'm a peaceful sort of fellow. But if I could venture just one suggestion, I should say that we should be extremely courteous to one another. That will ease the situation for both of us.
I'm not polite.
Well, then I must be polite for two.
Your mouth!
I beg your pardon?
Can't you keep your mouth still? You keep making that noise, it's grotesque.
So sorry, I wasn't aware of it.
Oh, that's just what I reproach you with. There you are! You keep talking about politeness and you don't even try to control your face. Remember, you're not alone here. You've no right to inflict this type of fear on me.
How about you? Aren't you afraid?
What would be the use? There was some point before while one still had hope.
There isn't any more hope. But still before, we haven't yet begun to suffer.
That's so? Well, what's going to happen?
No, I'm waiting.
This way, mademoiselle. No! Don't look up! I know what you're hiding with your hands. I know you've no face left. What? But I don't know you.
I'm not the torturer, madam.
I never thought you were. I thought someone was playing a rather nasty trick on me. Is anyone else coming?
No, madam, no one else is coming.
Oh, then we're to stay by ourselves, the three of us. This gentleman, this lady, and myself.
There's nothing to laugh about.
It's those sofas. They're so hideous. And just look how they've been arranged. It makes me think of New Year's Day when I used to visit that boring old aunt of mine, Aunt Mary. Her house was full of horrors like that. I suppose each of us has a sofa of his own. And is that one mine? But you can't expect me to sit on that one. It would be too horrible for words. I'm in pale blue, and it's vivid green.
Would you prefer mine?
That claret-colored one? That's very nice of you, but really, no, I don't think it'd be so much better. What's the good of worrying anyhow? We've got to take what comes to us, and I think I'll stick to the green one. The only one that might do at a pinch is that gentleman's.
Do you hear, Garcon?
Oh, the Sophie, you mean. So sorry. Please, take it, madam.
Thanks.
Well, as we're going to live together, I suppose we better introduce ourselves. My name's Rigaud, Estelle Rigaud.
And I'm Inez Serrano. Very pleased to meet you.
Joseph Garcin.
Do you require me anymore, madam?
No, you can go. I'll ring when I want you.
You're very pretty. I wish we had some flowers to welcome you with.
Flowers? Yes, I loved flowers. Only they'd fade so quickly here, wouldn't they? It's so stuffy. Oh well, the great thing is to keep as cheerful as we can. Don't you agree? Of course you two are.
Yes, last week. What about you?
Well, I'm quite recent. Yesterday. As a matter of fact, the ceremony's not quite over. The wind's blowing my sister's veil all over the place. She's trying her best to cry. Come, dear, make another effort. That's better. 2 tears, 2 little tears are twinkling under the black veil. Oh, dear. What a sight Olga looks this morning. She's holding my sister's arm, helping her along. She's not crying, but I don't blame her. Tears always mess one's face up, don't they? Olga was my bosom friend, you know.
Did you suffer much?
No, I was only half conscious, mostly.
Oh, what was it?
Pneumonia. It's over now. They're leaving the cemetery. Goodbye. Goodbye. Quite a crowd they are. My husband stayed home prostrated with grief. Poor man. How about you?
The gas stove.
And you, Mr. Garcon?
12 bullets through my chest. Sorry, I fear I'm not good company among the dead.
Oh, please don't use that word. It's so crude. In terribly bad taste, really. It doesn't mean much, anyhow. Somehow I feel we've never been so much alive as now. If we've absolutely got to mention this state of things, I suggest we call ourselves, wait, absentees. Have you been absent for long?
About a month.
And where are you from?
From Rio.
I'm from Paris. Have you anyone left down there?
Yes, my wife. She's come to the entrance of the barracks. She comes there every day, but they won't let her in. She's peeping between the bars. She doesn't yet know I'm absent, but she suspects it. She's leaving now. She's wearing her black dress. So much the better. She won't need to change. She's not crying, but she never did cry anyhow. It's a bright sunny day. She's like a black shadow creeping down the empty street. Those big tragic eyes of hers, with that martyred look they always had. Oh, how she got on my nerves.
Estelle!
Please, Mr. Garcin!
What is it?
You were sitting on my sofa.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
You looked so far away. I'm sorry I disturbed you.
Oh, I was just putting my life in order. You may laugh, but you would do better to follow my example.
No need. My life's in perfect order. It tidied itself up nicely of its own accord, so I needn't bother about it now.
Really? You imagine it's as simple as that? How hot it is in here. Do you mind if I...
How dare you! No, please don't. I loathe men in their shirt sleeves.
All right. Of course, I used to work in a newspaper office, and it was a regular black hole. So we never put our coats on. Stiflingly hot it could be. Stifling. That it is. It's night now.
That's so. Oh, Olga's undressing. Oh, it must be after midnight. How quickly the time passes on Earth.
Yes, after midnight. They've sealed up my room. It's dark, pitch dark and empty.
They slung their coats on the backs of their chairs and rolled their sleeves up at the elbow. The air stinks of men and cigar smoke. I used to like living among men in their shirt sleeves.
Well, in that case, our tastes differ. That's all it proves. What about you? Do you care for men in their shirt sleeves?
Oh, I don't care much for men anyway.
Really? I can't imagine why they put us three together. It doesn't make sense.
What's that?
I'm looking at the two of you and thinking, we're going to live together? It's so absurd. I was expecting to meet old friends or relatives.
Yes, a charming old friend with a hole in the middle of his face.
Him too? He danced the tango so divinely, like a professional. But why? Why should we, of all people, be put together?
Yeah, pure fluke, I should say. They lodge folks as they can in the order of their coming. Why are you laughing?
Oh, because you amuse me with your flukes, as if they've left anything to chance. But suppose you've got to reassure yourself somehow.
I wonder now, don't you think we may have met each other at some point in our lives?
Oh, never. I should not have forgotten you.
Or perhaps we have friends in common, I wonder. Do you know the Dubois Seymours?
Not likely.
Oh, but everyone went to their parties.
Oh, what's their job?
Oh, they don't do anything. But they have a lovely house in the country and hosts of people came to visit them.
I didn't. I was a post office clerk.
Ah, yes, of course. So, well, in that case, how about you, Mr. Garcin?
We've never met. I always lived in Rio.
Then you must be right. It's mere chance that has brought us together.
Mere chance? Then it's by chance you see the room furnished as we see it. It's an accident that the sofa on the right is a livid green and the one on the left is a wine red. Mere chance. We'll just try to shift the sofas and you'll see the difference soon enough. And what about that ornament on the mantelpiece? Surely it's not here by accident. And what about the heat here? How about that? I tell you, they've thought it all out down to the last detail. Nothing was left to chance. This room was set for us.
Really? But everything here is so hideous. All at angles. So uncomfortable. I always loathed angles.
And do you think I lived in a second Empire drawing room?
So it was all fixed up beforehand?
Yes. And they've set us here together deliberately.
Then it's not mere chance that you precisely are sitting opposite me. Oh, but what could be the idea behind it?
Ask me another. I only know they're waiting.
Then it's not mere chance that you precisely are sitting opposite me? But what could be the idea behind it?
Ask me another. I only know they're waiting.
Oh, I never could bear the idea of anyone's expecting something from me. It always made me want to do just the opposite.
Do it. Do it if you can. You don't even know what they expect.
This is outrageous. So, something's coming to me from the two of you. Something nasty, I suppose. There are some faces that tell me everything at once. Yours doesn't convey anything.
Now look here. Why are we together? You've given us quite enough hints. You might as well come out with it.
But I know nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm as much in the dark as you are.
You've got to know.
If only each of us had the guts to tell.
Tell what?
Estelle,
Yes?
what have you done? Why have they sent you here?
Well, that's just it. I haven't a notion, not in the foggiest. In fact, I'm wondering if there hasn't been some ghastly mistake. And if they made a mistake in my case, they may have done the same in yours. And you too. Well, isn't it better to think that we got here by mistake?
Is that all you have to tell us?
Oh, what else should I tell? I have nothing to hide. I lost my parents when I was young. We were terribly poor. And when an old friend of my father's asked me to marry him, I said yes. He was quite nice and very well off. He was old enough to be my father, but for 6 years we had a happy married life. Then 2 years ago, I met the man I was fated to love. We knew it the moment we set eyes on each other. He asked me to run away with him, and I refused. Then I got pneumonia, and it finished me. That's the whole story. No doubt by certain standards I did wrong to sacrifice my youth to a man nearly 3 times my age. Do you think that could be called a sin?
Certainly not. Now, tell me, do you think it's a crime to stand by one's principles?
Of course not. Surely no one could blame a man for that.
Wait a bit. I ran a pacifist newspaper. Then war broke out. What was I to do? Everyone looked to me wondering, will he dare? Well, I dared. I folded my arms and they shot me. Had I done anything wrong?
Wrong! On the contrary, you were.
A hero! And how about your wife, Garcin?
That's simple. I rescued her from the gutter.
You see? You see?
Yes, I see. Look here, what's the point of play acting, throwing dust in each other's eyes? We're all tarred with the same brush.
How dare you?
We are criminals, murderers, all 3 of us. We're in hell, my pets. They don't make mistakes and people aren't damned for nothing.
Stop it, for heaven's sake.
In hell. That's us, damned souls, all 3.
Keep quiet. I forbid you to use such disgusting words.
A damned soul? That's you, my little plaster saint, and ditto our friend here, the noble pacifist. We had our hour of pleasure. People burned their lives out for our sakes, and we chuckled over it. So now we have to pay the reckoning.
You keep your mouth shut, damn it!
Well, well. I understand. I know why they've put us 3 together.
I advise you to think twice before you say any more.
Oh, you'll see how simple it is. Childishly simple. Obviously, there are no physical torments, you agree, don't you? And yet we're in hell. And no one else will come in here. We will stay in this room, the 3 of us, forever and ever. In short, there's something absent here. The official torturer.
Yeah, I'd noticed that.
Well, it's obvious what they're after. An economy of manpower, or devil power, if you prefer. The same as in the cafeteria where the customers serve themselves.
Whatever do you mean?
I mean is that each of us will serve as torturer to the 2 others.
No, I will never be your torturer. I mean, neither of you any harm, and I have no concern for you. So the solution's simple. Each of us must stay in his or her own corner and pay no mind to the other, like you here, and I there, like soldiers at our post. Also, we mustn't speak, not a word. That shouldn't be too difficult. I think each of us has plenty of materials for self-communings. I think I could spend 10,000 years with just my thoughts for company.
But have I got to keep silent too?
Yes. That way we'll work out our salvation, looking into ourselves and never raising our heads. Agreed?
Agreed.
I agree.
Then, goodbye.
They've set trestles in a row with a scaffold and a knife and a pail caliber and below. Come, good folks, to Whitefriars Lane. Come and see the merry show. The headsman rose at the crack of dawn. He's a long day's work at hand. Chopping heads off generals, priests and peers and admirals, all the highest in the land. Come, good folks, to Whitefriars Lane. See them standing in a line, ladies all dressed up so fine, but their heads have got to go. Heads and hats roll down below. Come, good folks, to Whitefriars Lane. Come see the merry show.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Have you a glass? Any sort of glass. A pocket mirror will do. Even if you won't speak to me, you might lend me a glass.
Oh, don't worry. I have a glass in my bag. It's gone! Well, they must have taken it from me at the entrance.
Oh, how tiresome. Oh.
What's the matter?
I feel so queer. Oh, don't you ever get taken that way? When I can't see myself, I begin to wonder if I really and truly exist. I pat myself just to be sure, but it doesn't help.
Well, you're lucky. I'm always conscious of myself in my mind. Painfully conscious.
Oh, yes, in your mind, but everything that goes on in one's head is so vague, isn't it? It makes one want to sleep. Oh, I have 6 big mirrors in my bedroom. There they are. I can see them now, but they don't see me. They're reflecting the carpet, the settee, the window. Oh, but how empty it is, a glass in which I'm absent. When I used to talk to people, I always made sure there was one nearby in which I could see myself. I'd watch myself talking, and somehow it kept me alert, seeing myself the way the others saw me. Oh dear, my lipstick. Oh, I'm sure I put it on all crooked. No, I can't do without a looking glass forever and ever. I simply can't.
Suppose I try to be your glass. Come pay me a visit, dear. Here's a spot for you on my sofa.
But...
Oh, he doesn't count.
But we're going to hurt each other. You said it yourself.
Do I look as if I wanted to hurt you?
One never can tell.
Well, much more likely you'll hurt me. Still, what does it matter? If I'm to suffer, it might as well be at your hands. Your pretty hands. Come closer. Closer. Look into my eyes. What do you see?
Oh, I'm there. But so tiny, I can't see myself properly.
But I can. Every inch of you. Now ask me questions. I shall be as candid as any looking glass.
Please, Mr. Garcin, you're sure our chatter isn't boring you?
Oh, don't pay attention to him. As I said, he doesn't count. We're alone. Ask away.
Are my lips all right?
Let me see. No, they're a bit smudgy.
I thought as much. Good thing no one's seen me. I'll try again.
That's better. No, follow the line of your lips. Wait, I'll guide your hand. There. That's quite good.
As good as when I came in?
Oh, far better. Crueler. Your mouth looks most diabolical that way.
Good gracious, and you say you like it? Oh, how maddening not being able to see for myself. You're quite sure, Miss Serrano, that it's all right now?
You must call me Inez. Please call me Inez. I want us to be good friends.
Oh, I don't make friends with women very easily.
You mean postal clerks, hmm? Hello, what's that? That nasty red spot at the bottom of your cheek, a pimple?
A pimple? Oh, how simply foul. Where?
There! Oh, there isn't a pimple, not a trace of one. So what of it? Suppose the mirror started telling lies? Or suppose I covered my eyes as he is doing and refused to look at you? All that loveliness of yours would be wasted on desert air. No, don't be afraid. I can't help looking at you. I shan't stop looking at you, and I shall be ever so nice to you. Ever so nice, only you must be nice to me, too.
Are you really, really attracted by me?
Very much indeed.
Oh, but I wish that he noticed me too.
Of course. Because he's a man. Well, you've won. But look at her, damn it! Oh, don't pretend you haven't missed a word of what we've said.
Quite so. Not a word. I stuck my fingers in my ears, but your voices thudded in my brain. Silly chatter. Now will you leave me in peace, you two? I'm not interested in you.
Oh, not in me, perhaps. But what about this child here? Aren't you interested in her? I saw through your game. You got on your high horse just to impress her.
I asked you to leave me in peace. There was someone talking about me in the newspaper office, and I wanted to listen. And if it'll make any happier, I have you know that I have no use for the child, as you call her.
Thanks.
Oh, I didn't mean it rudely.
You cad.
Well, that's that. You know, I begged you not to speak.
It's her fault. She started. I didn't ask anything of her. And she came and offered me her glass.
Well, so you say, but all the while you're making up to him, trying every trick to catch his attention.
Well, why shouldn't I?
You're crazy, both of you. Don't you see where this is leading us? For pity's sakes, keep your mouths shut. Now, let's all try to sit down again quite quietly. We'll look at the floor, and each must try to forget the others are there.
toi. Oui, je t'ai pas là. C'est de destruction ne sont pas là. Les canapés bleu palais désaccorés avec ma robe. Oui, sans gravité. Alors c'est ça. Je m'attendais à que des meubles des secondes pièces et des sauvants. Oh, tel est l'amour, je devrais pleurer, mais je n'ai pas.
To forget about the others, how utterly absurd! I feel you in every pore, your silence clamors in my ears. You can nail up your mouth and cut out your tongue, but you can't prevent your being there. Can you stop your thoughts? I hear them ticking away like tick-tock, tick-tock, and I'm certain you hear mine. I won't leave you in peace. That would suit your book too well. You'd go on sitting there in a sort of trance like a yogi. And even if I didn't see her, I'd feel it in my bones that she was making every noise, even the rustle of her dress for your benefit. Well, I won't stand for it. I prefer to choose my hell. I prefer to look you in the eyes and fight it out face to face.
Have it your way. I suppose we were bound to come to this. They knew what they were about, and we're easy game. You know, if I was in a room full of men, men can keep their mouths shut. But it's no use wanting the impossible. So I attract you, do I? Seems you were making eyes at me.
Don't touch me.
Oh, why not? We might as well be natural. You know, I used to be mad about women, and some were quite fond of me. So we might as well stop posing. We've nothing to lose. We might as well do away with politeness and decorum and all the rest of it. We're between ourselves, and presently we shall be as naked as newborn babes.
Oh, let me be.
As newborn babes. Well, I warned you anyhow. I asked so little of you. Just a little peace, a little silence. I stuck my fingers in my ears. Gomez was spouting away in the middle of the press room as usual, with all the pressmen listening in their shirt sleeves. Tried to listen, but it wasn't too easy. Things move so quickly on Earth. Couldn't you have held your tongues? That's over now. He was talking about me, but now he's finished, and everything that he was thinking about me has gone back into his head. Well, we've got to see it through somehow. As naked as we were born. It's quite all right. Just the same. I want to know with whom I'm dealing with.
You know already. There's nothing more to learn.
No, you're wrong. So long as we haven't made a clean breast of it, why they damned us, we know nothing. Nothing that counts. You, young lady, you shall start. Why are you here? If you are frank, if we bring our specters out into the open, it may save all three of us from disaster. So out with it. Why?
I tell you, I haven't a notion. They wouldn't tell me why.
That's so. They wouldn't tell me either. But I've got a pretty good idea. Well, maybe you're shy of speaking first. Right, I'll lead off. I'm not a very estimable person.
Oh, no surprise. We all know you were a deserter.
Let that be. That's a side issue. I'm here because I treated my wife abominably. For 5 years. Naturally, she's suffering still. Whenever I mention her name, I can see her. They've given her back my things. She's got my coat across her knees, the window. The coat with the 12 bullet holes. The blood's like rust, a brown ring around each hole. Quite a museum piece, that coat. Scarred with history. Oh, won't you shed a tear, my love, at long last? Can't you squeeze one out? No, you can't manage it? For years, I came home blind drunk, stinking of wine and women. Naturally, she waited for me, but she never cried. Never issued a word of reproach. Only her eyes spoke, big, tragic eyes. Oh, I mustn't whine. I shall pay the price. It's snowing in the street. Won't you cry, confound you? That woman was a born martyr.
Why did you hurt
Victim by vocation.
Why did you hurt her like that?
Oh, it was so easy. A word was enough to make her flinch, like a sensitive plant. But never a word of reproach. I picked her up out of the gutter, you know. Now she's stroking the coat. Her eyes are closed and her fingers are searching through the bullet holes. What are you after? What do you expect? I tell you, I regret nothing. Truth is, she admired me too much. Does that mean anything to you?
No, no one admired me.
So much the better. So much the better for you. Well, I know this all strikes you as rather vague. Well, here's something you can get your teeth into. I brought a half-caste girl to live in my house. My wife slept upstairs. She must have heard everything. She was an early riser, and as I and the girl stayed in bed late, she served us our morning coffee.
You brute.
Yes, a brute if you like, but a well-beloved brute certainly. Else why should I be here? Your turn.
Well, I was what some people down there call the damned bitch. Damned already, so it's no surprise being here.
Is that all you have to say?
No. There was that affair with Florence. A dead man's tale with 3 corpses to it. He to start with, and she that I. So there's no one left. I've nothing to worry about. It was a clean sweep. Only that room. I see it now and again. Empty with the doors locked. No. They've just unlocked it. It's to let. There's a notice on the door. To let. That's too ridiculous.
3 deaths, you said.
3.
1 man and 2 women.
Yes.
Well. Did he kill himself?
No, he hadn't the guts for that. Still, he'd every reason to. He'd led him a dog's life. As a matter of fact, he was run over by a tram, a silly sort of end. I was living with him. He was my cousin.
Was Florence fair?
Fair. You know, I don't regret a thing. Still, I'm not so keen on telling you the story.
That's all right. So you got sick of him?
All sorts of things got on my nerves. For instance, he made a sort of noise when he was drinking, a gurgling sound, trifles like that. He was rather pathetic, really. Vulnerable. Why are you smiling?
Because I, anyhow, am not vulnerable.
Oh, don't be too sure. I crept under her skin. She saw the world through my eyes. When she left him, I had her on my hands. We shared a room at the other end of town.
And then?
And then the tram did its job. I used to tell her every day, yes, my pet, we killed him between us. I'm rather cruel, really.
So am I.
Oh, you're not cruel. When I say I'm cruel, I mean I can't get on without making other people suffer. Like a live coal in other people's hearts. When I'm alone, I flicker out. For 6 months, I flamed away in her heart until there was nothing but a cinder. One night, she got up and turned on the gas stove while I was asleep. Then she crept back into bed. So now you know.
Well.
Yes. What's in your mind?
Nothing, only it's not a pretty story.
Obviously. Well, but what matter?
As you say, what matter? You. What have you done?
As I said, I haven't a notion. I rack my brain, but it's no use.
All right. Well, we'll see if we can give you a hand. The fellow with the smashed face, who was he?
Who?
Oh, you know quite well. The man you were so scared of seeing when you came in.
Oh, him. Oh, he's a friend of mine.
Why were you so afraid of him?
Well, that's my business, Mr. Garcin.
He shot himself on your account.
How absurd you are. Of course not.
And why should you have been so afraid of him? He blew his brains out, didn't he? That's how his face got smashed.
Please, don't go on.
Because of you. Because of you.
He shot himself because of you.
Leave me alone. It's not fair bullying me like that. I want to go.
Go if you can. Personally, I'd ask for nothing better. Unfortunately, the door is locked.
This bell work. Oh, if you knew how I think you're hateful, both of you.
Ah, hateful, that's the word. Now out with it. This man who shot himself on your account, you were his mistress, eh?
Of course she was. And he wanted her to himself alone. Isn't that so?
He danced the tango like a professional, but he was as poor as a church mouse. That's right, isn't it?
Was he poor or not? Give a straight answer.
Yes, he was poor.
And then you had your reputation to keep up. One day he came to you and implored you to run away with him. And you laughed in his face.
That's it. You laughed in his face, and so he shot himself.
Did you used to look at Florence in that way?
Yes.
you've got it all wrong, you two. He wanted me to have a baby. So there.
And you didn't want one.
I certainly didn't. But the baby came, worse luck. I went to Switzerland for 5 months. No one knew anything. It was a girl. Roger was with me when she was born. It thrilled him to no end having a daughter. It didn't thrill me.
And then?
There was a balcony overlooking the lake. I brought a big stone. He could see what I was up to, and he kept on yelling, Estelle, for God's sake, don't. Oh, how I hated him then. He saw it all. He was leaning over the balcony, and he saw the rings spread onto the water.
Yes, and then?
That's all. I came back to Paris, and he did as he wished.
You mean he blew his brains out?
Oh, it was absurd of him, really. My husband never suspected anything. Oh, how I loathe you!
Nothing doing. Tears don't flow in this place.
Oh, I'm a coward! A coward! If you knew how I hate you!
Poor child. So the hearing's over. Well, no need to look like a hanging judge.
Hanging judge. What I wouldn't give to look at myself in a glass. How hot it is. Oh, sorry.
Oh, don't bother. You can stay in your shirt sleeves as things are.
Just so. You mustn't be angry with me, Estelle.
Oh, I'm not angry with you.
And what about me? Are you angry with me?
Yes.
Well, Mr. Garcin, you have us in the nude, all right. Do you understand things better for it?
I wonder. Yes, perhaps a trifle better. And now, suppose we start trying to help each other.
Oh, I don't need your help.
Oh, Inez, they've laid their snare damn cunningly, like a cobweb. You can't make a motion. You can't move your arm to fan yourself without Estelle and I feeling a tug. Alone, no one can save himself or herself. We're linked together inextricably, so take your choice. Hello, what's happening?
They've let it. The windows are wide open. There's a man sitting on my bed, if you please. Oh, they've let it. Oh, step in. Make yourselves at home, you breeders. Oh, there's a woman too. She's putting her hands on his shoulders. Oh, damn it, why don't they turn the lights on? It's getting dark. Oh, now he's going to kiss her, but that's my room. Oh, pitch dark. I can't see anything, but I can hear them whispering. Is he going to make love to her on my bed? What's that she said? It's noon and the sun is shining. I must be going blind. Blacked out. I can't hear or see a thing. So I'm done with the earth, it seems. No more alibis for me. I feel empty, desiccated, really dead at last. Old me's here in this room. What's that? You said something about helping me.
Yes.
Helping me to do what?
To defeat their devilish tricks.
And what do you expect from me in return?
To help me. All it takes is a little effort, and it's just a spark of human feeling.
Human feeling? That's beyond my range. I'm rotten to the core.
And what about me? All the same, suppose we try.
What would be the use? I can't give and I can't receive. I'm a dried twig ready for burning. Florence was fair, a natural blonde.
Don't you realize that this young woman is fated to be your torturer?
Perhaps I've guessed it.
That's how they'll get to you. I, on the other hand, I'm aloof. I take no notice of her, but suppose you tried.
Yes?
It's a trap. They're watching to see if you'll fall into it.
I know. And you're another trap. Don't you think they haven't foreknown every word you say? And of course, there's a whole nest of pitfalls we can't even see. Everything here is a booby trap. What do I care? I'm a pitfall too. For her, obviously. And perhaps I'll catch her.
You won't catch anything. We're chasing each other around in a vicious circle, like horses on a roundabout. That's part of their plan. Now, drop it, Inez. Open your hands and let go of everything, or else you'll bring disaster down on all three of us.
Do I look like the sort of person who lets go? I know what's coming to me. I'm going to burn, and it's going to last forever. You think I'll let go? I'll catch her. She'll see you through my eyes as Florence saw that other man. What's the use of trying to enlist my sympathy? I assure you I know everything, and I can't even feel sorry for myself. A trap, don't I know it? And I'm in a trap up to the neck, and there's nothing to be done about it. And if it suits their books, so much the better.
Well, I anyhow can feel sorry for you. Look at me, we're naked right through and through, and I can see into your heart. That's one link between us. Do you think I'd want to hurt you? I'm dried up too. I don't regret anything. But for you, I can still feel pity.
Don't! I hate being pawed about, and keep your pity to me. Don't forget, Garcin, that there are traps for you in this room, all neatly laid out for you. You do better to watch after your own interests. But if you leave us in peace, this child and me, I'll see that I don't do you any harm.
Very well.
Oh, please, Garcin.
What do you want of me?
You can help me anyhow.
If you want help, apply to her.
I implore you. Garcin, you gave me a promise, didn't you? Help me quick. I don't want to be left alone. Olga, she's taken him to a cabaret.
Taken who?
Peter. Oh, now they're dancing together.
Who's Peter?
Such a silly boy. He called me his glancing stream. Just fancy. He was terribly in love with me. She's persuaded him to come out with her tonight.
Do you love him?
Oh, now they're sitting down together. What a fool the girl is to insist on dancing. No, of course I don't love him. He's only 18. And I'm not a baby snatcher.
Well, why bother about it? What difference does it make?
He belonged to me.
Nothing on earth belongs to you anymore.
I tell you, he was mine. All mine.
Yes, he was once, but now, try to talk to him, try to touch him. Olga can touch him, talk to him as much as she likes. She can squeeze his hand, press herself against him.
Yes. Oh, look, she's pressing her great big chest against him, huffing and blowing in his face. Oh, but my poor little lamb, can't you see how ridiculous she is? Why don't you laugh at her? Oh, once I'd only have to glance at them and she'd have slunk away. Is there really nothing left of me?
Nothing whatsoever. Nothing of you's left on earth, not even a shadow. All you own is in this room. Would you like that paper knife or that ornament on the mantelpiece? That blue sofa is yours, and I, my dear, am yours forever.
You? Mine? That's good. Well, which of you two would dare to call me his glancing stream, his crystal girl? You know too much about me. You know I'm rotten through and through. Peter, dear, think of me. Fix your thoughts on me and save me. All the time you're thinking my glancing stream, my crystal girl. I'm only half here. I'm only half wicked, and half of me is down there with you, clean and bright and crystal clear as running water. Oh, just look at her face, all scarlet like a tomato. No, it's absurd. We used to laugh at her together, you and I. What's that tune? Oh, I always loved it. Yes, the St. Louis Blues. All right, dance away, dance away. Garcin, I wish you could see her. You'd die of laughing. Only she'll never know I see her. What's that you said? Our poor dear Estelle. Oh, don't be such a humbug. You didn't even shed a tear at the funeral. No, don't tell him. You can keep him. Do what you like with him, but please, oh, please don't tell him about that. She's told him everything about Roger, my trip to Switzerland, the baby. He's looking grave, shaking his head, but he doesn't seem so very much surprised. Not what one would expect. You can keep him then. I won't haggle with you over his long eyelashes or his girlish, pretty face. They're yours for the asking. His glancing stream, his crystal. Well, the crystal's shattered into bits. Oh, I wish I could go down to earth, just for a moment, to dance with him again. The music, it's growing fainter. They've turned down the lights, as they do for a tango. Why are they playing so quiet? Louder, please. I can't hear. They're so far away. So far away. I can't hear a sound. It's the end. The earth has left me. Oh, don't turn from me. Please, take me in your arms.
Now then, Garcin.
You should say that to her.
Oh, don't turn away. You're a man, aren't you? Sure, now, not such a fright as all that. Everyone says I've lovely hair, and after all, the man killed himself on my account. Well, you've got to look at something, and there's nothing to see here except for the sofas and that awful ornament in the table. Surely I'm better to look at than a lot of stupid furniture. Listen, I've dropped from their heart like a little sparrow fallen from its nest. So gather me up, darling. Wrap me into your heart, and you'll see how nice I can be.
I tell you, it's to that lady you should speak.
To her, but she doesn't count. She's a woman.
Oh, I don't count. Is that what you think? But my poor little fallen nestling, you've been sheltering in my heart for ages, though you never realized it. Don't be afraid. I'll keep looking at you forever and ever without a flutter of my eyelids, and you'll live in my gaze like a mote in a sunbeam.
A sunbeam, indeed. Don't talk such rubbish. You tried that trick already. You should know it doesn't work.
Estelle, my glancing stream, my crystal.
Your crystal? It's grotesque. Do you think you can fool me with that sort of talk? Everyone knows by now what I did to my baby. The crystal's shattered. I don't care. I'm just a hollow dummy. All that's left of me is the outside, but it's not for you.
Come to me, Estelle, and you shall be whatever you'd like to be. A glancing stream, a muddy stream, and deep down in my gaze, you'll see yourself just as you want to be.
Oh, let me be. You haven't any eyes. Oh, damn it. Isn't there anything I can do to get rid of you? I've an idea. There.
Garcin, you shall pay for this!
So it's a man you need.
Not any man. You.
No humbug now. Any man would do your business. And as I'm here, you want me, right? Mind, I'm not your sort at all, really. I'm not a young nincompoop, and I don't dance the tango.
I'll take you as you are. And perhaps I shall change you.
I doubt it. I shan't pay much attention. I have other things to think about.
What things?
They wouldn't interest you.
I'll sit on your sofa and wait for you to take some notice of me. I promise not to bother you in any way.
That's right. Fawn on him like the silly bitch you are. Grovel and cringe, and he hasn't even good looks to commend him.
Don't listen to her. She has no eyes, no ears. She's nothing.
I'll give you what I can. It won't amount to much. I shan't love you. I know you too well.
Do you want me anyhow?
Yes.
I ask no more.
In that case...
Estelle, Garcin, are you crazy? What do you think you're doing? You know I'm still here.
Of course, but what does it matter?
Under my eyes, you couldn't do it.
Why not? I often undressed with my maid looking on.
Let her alone. Don't paw her with your dirty man hands.
Take care. I'm no gentleman, and I have no compunction about striking a woman.
But you promised me. You promised. I'm only asking you to keep your word.
Why should I, considering that you were the first to break our agreement?
Oh, very well. Have it your way. I'm the weaker party, one against two. But don't forget that I'm here, and I'm watching. I shan't take my eyes off of you, Garcin. When you're kissing her, you'll feel them boring into you. Yes, have it your way. Make love and get it over. We're in hell. My turn will come.
Now then, your lips. Give me your lips.
Really? But didn't I tell you not to pay any attention to her?
No, you've got it wrong. It's Gomez. He's back in the press room. The windows are closed. It must be winter. 6 months since well, I told you I'd be easily distracted, didn't I? They've got their coats on. They're shivering. Funny how They should feel cold when I'm so hot. Ah, now he's talking about me.
Is this going to take long? You might at least tell me what he's saying.
Nothing. Nothing worth repeating. He's a swine is all. A goddamn bloody swine. Estelle, let's come back to ourselves. Will you love me?
I wonder now.
Will you trust me?
What a quaint thing to ask, considering you'll be under my eyes all the time, and I don't think I've anything to fear from Inez as far as you're concerned.
Obviously, I was thinking of a different kind of trust. Talk away, you bloody swine. I'm not there to defend myself. Estelle, will you give me your trust?
What a nuisance you are. I'm giving you my mouth, my arms, my whole body, and everything could be so simple. My trust? I haven't any to give, I'm afraid. You're making me terribly embarrassed. You must have something pretty ghastly on your conscience to make such a fuss over my trusting you.
They shot me.
I know, because you refused to fight. Well, why shouldn't you?
I didn't exactly refuse. Oh, I must say, he talks well. He paints out a good case against me, but he never says what I should have done instead. Should I have gone to the general and said, "General, I decline to fight"? A mug's game. They'd have promptly locked me up. But I wanted to show my colors. My true colors. I wouldn't be silenced. So I took the train. They caught me at the frontier.
Well, where were you trying to go?
To Mexico. I meant to start a pacifist newspaper down there. Well, why don't you speak?
What can I say? You acted quite rightly, as you didn't want to fight.
That's...
Oh, but my darling, how on earth can I guess what you want me to answer?
Well, can't you guess? Well, I can. He wants you to tell him that he bolted like a lion. For bolts he did, and that's what's biting him.
Bolted went away. We won't quarrel over words.
Well, you had to run away. They'd have sent you to jail if you stayed, wouldn't they?
Of course. Well, Estelle, am I a coward?
How can I say? Oh, don't be so unreasonable, darling. I can't put myself in your skin. You must decide that for yourself.
I can't decide.
Anyhow, you must have had reasons for acting as you did.
I had.
Well?
Were they the real reasons?
You've a twisted mind. That's your trouble, plaguing yourself over such trifles.
I thought everything through. I wanted to make a stand, but was that my real motive?
Exactly. Was that your real motive? No doubt you argued it out with yourself. You weighed the pros and cons, and you found good reason for what you did. But fear and hatred and all those dirty little instincts one keeps quiet, they're motives too. So carry on, Garcin, and try to be honest with yourself for once.
I need you to tell me that. Day and night I pace my cell, from the door to the window to the door. I pried into my heart. I sleuthed myself like a detective. At the end, I thought I'd given my whole life over to introspection. But I always harked back to that one action that I had taken. That I had taken that train to the frontier. But why? Why? Finally, I thought my death will settle it. If I face death courageously, I'll prove that I'm no coward.
Now did you face death?
Miserably. Rottenly. It was just a physical lapse. It might have happened to everyone. I'm not ashamed of it, but it left everything in suspense. Estelle, come here. Look at me. I want someone to look at me while they're talking about me on Earth. I like green eyes.
Oh, green eyes! Just hug to him! And you, Estelle, do you like cowards?
If you knew how little I care, coward or hero, it's all one, provided he kisses well.
There they are, slumped in their chairs, sucking at their cigars. Bored they look, half asleep. Garcon's a coward. That's what they're thinking, but only vaguely, dreamily. One's got to think of something. That chap Garcin's a coward. That's what they're thinking about me, those dear friends of mine. In 6 months, they'll be thinking cowardly, like that skunk Garcin. You're lucky, you two. No one on earth is left to give you a second thought, but I'm long in dying.
What about your wife, Garcin?
Oh, didn't I tell you? She's dead.
Dead?
Yes, she died just now, about 2 months ago.
Of grief?
Oh, what else would she have died of? So you see, all's for the best. The war's over. My wife is dead. And I've carved out my place in history.
My poor darling. Look at me. Please look. Touch me. Touch me. There. Keep your hand there. No, don't move. Why trouble what those men are thinking? They'll die off one by one. Forget them. There's only me now.
They won't forget about me. They may die, but others will take their place to carry on the legend. I've left my fate in their hands.
You think too much. That's your trouble.
What else is there to do now? I was a man of action once. If only I could be back with them for just one day, I'd fling their lie back in their teeth. But I'm locked out. They're passing judgment on me without troubling about me. And they're right, because I'm dead. Dead and done with.
Garcin.
Listen, I want you to do me a favor. No. Don't shrink away, please. I know you're not used to it, having someone ask you for help. But if you can will it hard enough, I dare say that we could truly love each other. Think about it. 1,000 of them are declaring I'm a coward, but what do numbers matter? There's just one person, just one, to say that I didn't run away, that I'm not the sort that runs away, that I'm brave and decent and all the rest of it. Why, that one person's faith could save me. Will you have that faith in me, Estelle? If so, I will love and cherish you forever. Well, Estelle, will you?
Oh, you dear silly man. Do you think I could love a coward?
But just now you said...
I was only teasing you. I like men, my dear, who are real men, with tough skin and strong hands. You haven't a coward's chin, or a coward's mouth, or a coward's voice, or a coward's hair. And it's for your hair, your mouth, and your voice I love you.
Do you mean this? Really mean it?
Shall I swear it?
Then I snap my fingers at them all. All of those down below and those in here. Estelle, we shall climb out of hell. What's that?
She doesn't mean a word of what she says. How could you be such a simpleton? Oh, Estelle, am I a coward? As if she cared a damn either way.
Inez, how dare you? If you want me to have faith in you, you must begin by trusting me.
Oh, that's right. Trust away. She wants a man that far you can trust. She wants a man's arms around her waist, a man's smell, a man's eyes glowing with desire. And that's all she wants. She'd assure you were God Almighty if she thought it'd give you pleasure.
Estelle, is this true? Answer me. Is it true?
What do you expect me to say? Don't you realize how maddening it is to have to answer questions one can't make head or tail of? You do make things difficult. Anyhow, I'd love you just the same, even if you were a coward. Isn't that enough?
You disgust me. Both of you.
What are you up to?
Going.
You won't get far. The door is locked.
I'll make them open it.
Oh, please.
Oh, don't worry, my pet. The bell doesn't work.
Tell you, they shall open. I can't endure it any longer. I'm through with you both.
Oh, but Garcin!
Now go away. You're even fouler than she. I won't let myself get bogged down in your eyes. You're soft and slimy. Ugh! You're like an octopus. Like a quagmire.
I beg you. Oh, please. I beg you, don't leave me. I promise I won't speak to you. I won't bother you in any way, but don't go. I daren't be left alone with Inez now that she's shown her claws.
Look after yourself. I never asked you to come here.
Oh, how mean you are. Yes, it's quite true. You're a coward.
Well then, my little sparrow fallen from the nest, I hope you're satisfied now. You spat in my face. Playing up to him, of course, and we had a little tiff on his account. But he's going now, and good riddance. We two women will have the space to ourselves.
Oh, you won't gain anything. If that door opens, I'm going too.
Where?
I don't care where, as far from you as I can.
Open the door, blast you. I can't endure it any longer. I'll put up with anything. Your ropes, your chains, your molten lead, your garrots, all your fiendish devices, everything that burns and flays and tears. I'll put up with any torture you impose. Anything's better than this agony of the mind. This creeping pain that fumbles, gnaws, and caresses. Now, will you open?
Well, Garcin, you're free to go.
Now, I wonder why that door opened.
What are you waiting for? Hurry up and leave.
I shall not go.
And you, Estelle? So what? Which of us three shall leave? Oh, what a situation this is! It's a scream! We're inseparables!
Inseparables? Garcon, lend me a hand, quickly. We'll push her out and slam the door on her. That'll teach her a lesson.
Oh, Estelle, please don't! No, I won't go into the passage!
Estelle, no!
No, you're crazy. She hates you.
It's because of her I'm staying here.
Because of me? All right, shut the door. It's 10 times hotter since it opened. Because of me, you said.
Yes, because you anyhow know what it means to be a coward.
Yes, I know.
And you know what wickedness and shame and fear is. There are days when you looked into yourself, into the secret chambers of your heart, and what you saw there made you faint with horror. And then, the next day you didn't know what to make of it. You couldn't interpret the horror you had seen the day before. So, yes, you know what evil costs. And when you say, I'm a coward, you know from experience what that means.
Yes.
So, it is you who are of my kind. You whom I have to convince. Do you think I meant to leave you here? No, I couldn't leave you here gloating over my defeat, with all of those thoughts of me running through your head.
Do you really wish to convince me?
That's the one and only thing I want now. I can't hear them any longer. It probably means they're done with me. For good and all. The curtain's down. There's nothing left of me on earth. Not even the name of coward. So we're alone, Inez. Just the two of you are left to give any thought to me, and she doesn't count. It's you who are of my kind. You who hate me. If you'll have faith in me, I'm saved.
It won't be easy. Have a good look at me. I'm a hard-headed woman.
I'll give you all the time that's needed.
Yes, we've lots of time on hand. All time.
Listen, every man has an aim in life, a main motive. Isn't that so? Well, I didn't give a damn about wealth or love. I aim to be a real man, a tough, as they say. I staked everything on the same horse. So can one possibly be a coward when one's intentionally courted danger around every corner? And can one judge a life by a single action?
Why not? For 30 years, you dreamt yourself a hero and condoned 1,000 petty lapses because a hero, of course, can do no wrong. An easy method, obviously. But the day came when you were up against it, the red light of real danger. And you took the train to Mexico.
I dreamt, you said. It was no dream. When I chose the hardest path, I did so deliberately. A man is what he wills himself to be.
Oh, prove it. Prove it was no dream. It's what one does that shows the stuff one's made of.
I died too soon. I wasn't allowed time to do my deeds.
One always dies too soon or too late, and yet one's whole life is complete at that moment, with a line drawn neatly under it, ready for the summing up.
You are your life, and nothing else.
What a poisonous woman you are, with an answer for everything.
Oh, now, don't lose heart. It shouldn't be so hard convincing me. Oh, pull yourself together, man. Rake up some arguments. Wasn't I right when I said you were vulnerable? Now you're going to pay the price, and what a price. You're a coward, Garcin, because I wish it. I wish it, do you hear? I wish it. And yet look at me. See how weak I am. A mere breath upon the air, a gaze observing you, a formless thought that thinks you. Ah, they're open now. Those hands, those coarse man hands. But what do you hope to do? You can't throttle thoughts with hands, so you've no choice. You must convince me, and you are at my mercy.
Garcon!
What?
Revenge yourself!
How?
Kiss me, darling, then we'll hear her squeal.
That's true, Inez. I'm at your mercy, but you're at mine as well.
Oh, you coward, running to console yourself with women.
That's right, Inez. Squeal away.
What a lovely pair you make. If you could see his big paws splayed out on your back. Be careful, though. His hand is perspiring. It'll leave a blue stain on your dress.
Squeal away, Inez. Squeal away. Hold me tight, darling. Tighter still. That'll finish her off at a good thing, too.
Yes, Garcin, she's right. Press yourself against her until you feel your bodies melting together into a warm lump of throbbing flesh. Love's a grand solace, isn't it? Deep and dark as sleep, but I'll see that you don't sleep.
Don't listen to her. Press your lips to my mouth. Oh, I'm yours, yours, yours.
What are you waiting for? Do as you're told. What a lovely scene! Coward Garcin holding baby killer Estelle in his manly arms. Make your stakes! Will coward Garcin kiss the lady or won't he dare? What's the betting? I'm watching. Everyone's watching. I'm a crowd unto myself. Do you hear the crowd, Garcin? Mumbling and muttering. Coward. Coward! 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 That's what they're saying. It's no use. I'll never let you go. What do you hope to gain from her silly little lips? Forgetfulness? But I shan't forget you, not I. It's I you must convince. So come to me. I'm waiting. Come along now. Oh, look how he comes like a well-trained dog who comes when his mistress calls. You can't hold on to him. And you never will.
Will night never come?
Never.
And you will always see me.
Always.
I'm looking at this thing of bronze on the mantelpiece. And it's now that I understand I'm in hell. They planned everything out. They knew I'd stand here caressing this thing of bronze, with all of those eyes looking down on me, intently devouring me. Oh, just the two of you? Oh, I thought there'd be more, many more. So this is hell. I'd have hardly believed it. Do you remember everything we were told? About the fire and brimstone, the torture chambers, the burning marl, old wives' tales. There's no need for red hot pokers. Hell is other people.
My darling, please.
Keep away. She is between us. I cannot love you when she is watching.
Right. In that case, I'll stop her watching.
What do you think you're doing? You know quite well I'm dead.
Dead?
Dead, 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 dead. Knives, poison, ropes, it's all useless. It's all been done. So here we are. Forever.
Forever. My God, how funny. Forever.
Forever and ever and ever. Well, well. Let's get on with it.
Les canapés bleu palais désaccorés avec Mao. Oui, en
That was a thing, guys. We did a thing.
Joining us for this show, and thank you for supporting art during these hard times. We're now going to invite you to join a talk back with our actors and our wonderful director, Alisa Stewart, who is also the genius behind much of what Experience Theater Project does. And I'd like to invite her to join us now. Hi, Alisa. How about you start by telling our audience a little bit about how you chose to do this project in this time in this way?
We can't hear you. You're muted.
Sounds good. Actors, how about you tell me a little bit about how you heard about the project and got involved, and what it's like exploring this way of doing live theater?
How we found out about it. I think we found out about it through, there was a general audition for it. I think I was part of the read through for this as well, and I remember hearing that this had the potential to be presented as an online digital type format, and I was intrigued by both the original play, which I had read years ago, but also by the notion of doing this digitally. So that definitely whet my appetite, and as we delved into the project, I really loved the fact that we added the noir layer to it, and I'll have Alisa explain more the reason behind that, but this had so many elements that I absolutely adored, so yeah.
Did you guys have an idea of how this was going to work coming in? I know that Gwen did a bit, she did turn over the screw, but what were
I think I was the only one who knew what I was in for. So yeah, that was nice for me, but it was totally new for them. So
I've done a little bit of I've done some motion capture acting, and I also do voiceover. So I have the skill set or the experience of acting with people who are not there. But this definitely was a different. There was the added layer of acting with people who are not in the physical space, and your camera angles were shifting kind of constantly. So that was a new challenge.
What were the rehearsal processes like?
It was definitely fascinating. First of all, on the plus side of the ledger, shortest commute to a rehearsal I have ever had in my entire theater career. Thank you, Alisa Stewart. This is in my dining room, and so literally I always find something to worry about with traffic. This is like a 30-second commute, so that's never going to be topped ever again. I have to say, it's such strange and weird times now. And I definitely am looking forward to the day when I can give Katherine and Gwen and Carlyn a hug when I see them and actually work on a stage safely. But this was pretty cool. I think the process for the people who are actors out there is a little something missing in that you don't have that immediate sense of physicality, looking into a person's eyes, feeling their physicality near you and being able to play off of that. But I have to say, this technology is pretty flipping amazing, and I think it recapped a good chunk of that experience, not all of it, and certainly it has big benefits as well, as we're all finding out. So I've been thrilled to do this. It's been a real learning experience.
And from the directing kind of stage, like when you're talking about the actual process, because there's no downstage and there's no upstage, and even because the camera will change constantly, so you can't refer to the camera as much. Alisa directed on a clock face, because each of our clock faces are different as well. So my 6 o'clock might be Rich's 9 o'clock, depending on the shot we're in.
Right, and then they'll switch on a dime when you guys trade couches.
Right. But that was a really good way of orienting in this space for this project, was just doing away with upstage, downstage, camera left, camera right, and just and working with the space of the actor.
Definitely. And I agree with what Rich was saying about it being difficult not being able to bounce off of each other's physical cues. Like, you guys have such amazing expressions, which I really got to appreciate watching the show just now. But, like, you don't see those in the moment. So the fact that you're such amazing vocal artists, like, that's what we're reacting to, and that's really helpful. But it is a different challenge to only have the vocal to react to, but not the physical. How did the virtual sets become created? Is Alisa with us yet? Do we have Mike?
Yes.
And Denise, we're not sure if we're hearing Alisa. How about you guys tell us how we set up our physical sets and like what Alisa gave us to work with? Like, where the couch is real. How did that work?
My couch is real.
But how do you guys switch them?
I have no fucking idea.
It's magic.
Magic.
Magic. Theater magic.
It's like a simple matter. You go off screen, right, and then you come back on screen. They just use the computer to actually superimpose your couches over that.
Yeah, I just walked off screen and back onto the same couch, but it was, she did the magic on her end. But yeah, we just had simple black curtains, couch. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Very simple set.
We have questions about the period hairstyle, and so if you want to talk a little bit about the costume and the hair and all of that. How did costume fittings work? How did hair work?
This bad boy? Oh my god, there is so much fucking hairspray in here. So Alisa really wanted this look, this banger bang look, because she wanted Inez to look very stylized and kind of very period in a completely opposite end to Gwen was very feminine, very who was your actor that you were basing off of, Gwen?
Joan Fontaine.
Yeah.
But I was sent a picture for my hairstyle, and I based my hair off of that picture, which was a different actor, specifically for the hair. But yeah, the period glamour of this character was pretty fun to play with makeup and hair. Yeah.
Yeah, and this looks, I mean, for as much hairspray and pins that are actually in my head right now, this is pretty butch, which is kind of cool. I guess.
I love that I wear a hat because your guys' hair looks freaking amazing, and I never could have like figured out how to make that work.
What do you need, or Jen? What do you need?
The
we're trying to get the mic working on the screen, so why am I
because we had to make our own measurements, and then
trying
she showed
everything?
vlog, and it was almost like Uber Eats, where she dropped off my costume. I tried it on. I twirled it around for her when she was 6 feet away, and she like told me how to tuck some things in. I don't know how you guys thought it went, but I was surprised how well she managed the costume without actually getting fit up.
Well, Alana is fabulous in all ways. She worked, I don't know, for Artist Rep. But she also was costume designer for Dorian Gray. So she actually has put me in a costume before. And so that I think helped, which is like, oh, I know what she needs to wear or not wear.
Yeah, she was really wonderful to work with, and my costume fitting was over Zoom, you know, and not even in person, and she did a great job.
Yeah, it's a logistics kind of craziness on this side anyway.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible how well our costumes fit, considering she hasn't seen us when I've been in shows where they don't fit this well when you do see each other.
Yeah.
So someone named John wants to know who in the cast has actually met in person.
I think Katherine and I have definitely.
We met at a casting director workshop, like.
Right. We've met before. I've worked with Alisa before. I've worked with you, Carlyn, who's our wonderful valet. Unfortunately, I have not yet met Gwen in person, but I feel like I know her very well. You know, and again, that's just a testament to this strange virtual world. But honestly, you know, like I said, even if I hadn't met any of these people, it's been such a pleasure. Jenn has been our steadfast hand throughout this whole thing, our AD. And Alisa, I really appreciate Alisa's really her ongoing innovative work, even pre-COVID. You know, I think ETP really tries very hard to present and bring theater not only to a wider base of people, but also in a different way. So this is kind of in their wheelhouse, and I've just been jazzed not only to be able to work in this time of COVID, but just to do it in this way, because frankly, I hope I'm wrong, but my gut tells me that this might be the wave of the future moving forward in terms of how theaters adapt to this thing we're going through.
Yeah, and I'd like to comment on that too, because you know, as soon as this hit, a lot of theater companies were panicked. This is their income. How do people get by when there's no audience, when there's no people coming to their doors? You know, and we're fortunate enough as a company that we don't have a physical place in order to have their shows, so there's not a lot of overhead. We could swing by, but these other companies that are suffering from not being able to put on shows, it's very challenging for them. And my hope really is to that we can blaze a trail of some kind to show that we're a very small company. We obviously have a lot of this stuff is just trying to learn it, trying to figure out the kinks, and we're hoping that we can meet with other people, other innovators, other creators, and trying to move this space forward, and really, you know, see what we can do with it. This is obviously this is all brand new to everybody, and I'm hoping that we can keep the creativity going. Catherine, were you going to say something? Sorry.
No, I was just apparently out of frame for this entire talkback, so I was trying to.
Oh my goodness, sorry.
My bad.
Katherine, Elizabeth says Katherine is very Katherine Hepburn, which is amazing because that was totally what you were told, right?
Yes, so we were kind of given kind of style. We were kind of given like
inspirations.
Style impressions for our character, for us to start.
Some of our inspirations were.
What?
Mine was Katherine Hepburn. But
Channeled beautifully.
Mine was an actor named Robert Turner, not as well known as some of the other big names from the 40s and 50s, but he was kind of an archetypal actor for that period. He actually acted with Hepburn and Robert Mitchum in a movie called Undercurrent, which is actually a movie that Alisa recommended that I view, just to kind of get their mannerisms and that way that people talk back then, the male actors, and even when they were scared, they talked in a very butch way like this. So, and I love that era, and I love the period of noir, but it is very stylized, and I think it was just genius to inject that layer of kind of comedic noir into a play that, let's face it, in this time of COVID, might have been a little bit too on the nose if we had played it ultra seriously. I mean, people stuck in a room in hell. Sound familiar? So I think that this was a delight on so many levels. I live to pay an homage to that period anyway. I love noir. And so I want to thank Alisa and Jenn and all my co-actors for letting me do this, because it was so amazingly fun.
And you have to understand that these actors, all of these actors, they don't have anyone that they're looking at when they're reacting. They have to just kind of go off of whatever the air is giving them. And all we can do on our end is say, okay, turn to your left. Turn a little bit more, a little bit more. There he is. And then they have to make a sort of a mental mark of where they are. And that is very challenging, and I give them a huge amount of credit for being able to work that way. It's very hard.
When I was looking at Garcin, I was usually looking at a picture of Brad Pitt and a poster on my wall.
Well played.
Ooh.
Well played, Carlyn.
Ouch.
Any more questions?
Gwen, who was your character inspiration?
Joan Fontaine was the original homework I was given, which was super fun. And then, yeah, I just had so much fun with this character. She's just so, I was really directed to do over the top, and that's just, as an actor, there's just a lot of fun in there. So I was really relishing in playing someone who is very different than me. But yeah, it's just it was a great challenge in terms of character beyond all the challenges of this format, which is so many challenges. So it was a super fun project for me.
Cool.
Someone in Philip is asking for me to talk about the costume and makeup for the ballet. So I'll play that into this question a bit, which is, originally it was sort of there we are, see, sort of a dry character, like the man in Laura who shoots the guy. And then we decided to go more in the realm of Joker and sort of almost a twisted MC for a circus. It reminds me a little bit of Dick Tracy, where a lot of the characters are a little more on the straight side, but then you have the villains being a little bit more over the top. So that was sort of
right. And
a lot of came in.
yeah, and the idea that you're comfortable in hell, and this is your hell, and you have fun with it, and these other people are just normal schmoes. That was giving you a on the
Castles, but I can control these schmucks.
yeah, having more fun with it, having more kind of the more power. We actually had a couple more scenes for Carlyn to shoot, but we lacked the capacity to do some of the things that we wanted to do, so we had to make do with what we had. Otherwise, she was going to be sort of the person in charge of everything, and we were going to have her come in a few other times, but it just wasn't working in the way we were trying to do.
So I have a few more technical questions. Everything from what are challenges in a digital format to why the red couch was real and the others were fake. So after the camera is the actors' hats, we have some technical questions that can sink our teeth in now that we have Alisa with us.
Sure. Well, the claret colored, everybody was going to be a fake couch, but then Katherine had a couch, And halfway through rehearsal, it became clear that, you know what if we just cover the couch and the other two ones, because the other two seats that they're on right now are just folding chairs with cushions, and then we just threw the green screen over them and we could create any couch we wanted. But we're limited by the space in which people are performing. We don't have a green screen studio to make everything polished, to make everything perfect, and recognizing that there are challenges. Well, we may as well work with what we got. And what Katherine got, she already had a couch there. It didn't make a lot of sense to me to try and suddenly disguise her couch and then give her a red claret colored, Second Empire furniture couch. And it made more sense just to go with what we got. So that is why the decision was made to go ahead and let her have the red and just cover it, and then give the others their the blue and the green.
And we had to switch our couches, so that was like a challenge. That was like, how are we going to figure that out? That
was the biggest reason to have at least the two of the bookends be able to switch.
Yeah. Sophie Gilbert wants to know, what did we all learn from doing the play in this way?
Gwen?
Listening. I think always as an actor, listening is so important, but this format is such a kind of a gift to work on that, because you have nothing except your ears. I have nothing except their voices coming into my ears. So just continuing to try to listen as an actor.
In some ways, the process was two things. One is that, like, for this particular play, it's very relatable, and because you're, kind of like a mad woman pacing around in your own room, talking to other people, but also yourself. So you can relate to the character's situation in a way that pre-COVID wasn't quite the case. So we relate to it kind of on a personal level, but also it's very the acting process itself is also very filmic, in that, yes, we have rehearsals, but unlike theater actors that have, film actors there's a lot more onus on the actor to kind of show up with their character. So there was a lot of more. It felt a little bit more like film, in that I was more responsible for bringing my character to life, because because no one else is in the room to help me do it. I have to bring it and then react with what I've got with the people in the room. And because the rehearsal process itself was so technically demanding, we didn't have the time that you might expect to get kind of a deeper creative actor process that you might see in another theater space. So that's something to take into account for anyone who's doing something like this in the future, is that you really have to do your own homework in bringing your own character to life.
There were other ways it was similar to film too. I've done almost no film. I'm mostly a theater actor. So it was interesting for me to be like able to actually occasionally see some performances. I didn't watch a whole lot, but occasionally we'd get to see our performance. And it was interesting because the director would be like, do this thing, and be like, that's exactly what I was trying to do. And then you get to watch it and be like, oh, that's why it wasn't reading. So that was interesting, just to get that actual feedback that you never get on stage. So there's some people asking how many cameras did each actor have and who controls the shots. So let's talk a little bit about the crazy magic that Alisa and Jenn do behind the scenes.
Shots.
Shots. How'd you know? No, so Jenn behind the scenes, I'm going to move the camera and she's going to be embarrassed, but there she is. There's Jenn. And just as a kind of a global shot, this is how our setup kind of looks. It is a monitor on one side of the Zoom that we have to craft into a feed that makes a lot of sense, and that feed gets sent back to the actors and to Jenn, so to know that everybody is being crafted in the correct place, that they're being created and cut into cookie cutters moments so they can try and cross into each other. Each actor has 2 cameras, and to create a 3D environment, because of the fact that some of the we lost one of our actors right now, but
Sorry.
Oh, you're coming back, Catherine. So it was important that the actors have an ability to move from one side to the other, so it's not just a 2D space. We wanted to create a 3D environment in order to for characters to talk to one another in different ways, and honestly, that does on the screen, it becomes a sort of an architectural challenge to create a scene where one is looking to you, but then past you to the other person, and then making that all sort of work together and make sense. So sorry, our feed just kind of went wonky here. We're trying to fix that, or at least
Just my camera.
Grace Kim wants to know, are these spaces actually the actors' living rooms or bedrooms?
Yeah.
By saying, yeah,
Yes.
this space is part of my living room.
Yes.
Spaces.
Dining room.
This is our I have the benefit. This is my kind of like office / guest room. I have the benefit of having a voiceover booth and self-tape for camera setup. So this is kind of my creative space anyways, which is nice, which is why the couch stayed, because it's like we were going to do it downstairs. That was
Yeah, I'm in a 10 by 10 bedroom.
Did you have to take down your space and put it up every day, or did you gotta leave it up?
Most of it was left up.
Left up.
That was just easier.
Left up. Just, but much to my wife's chagrin, this is our main dining room. So yeah, she's chomping at the bit to get the dining room back.
How did your kids like working around this big set?
What was that?
You have kids too, right? So your kids had to work around this whole setup, right?
Yeah, they're all teenagers or in their 20s, so they're kind of like, yeah, whatever. And my youngest daughter, she's also an actress, and so she totally gets it. So yeah, the impact on them was minimal. They're like, we'll just eat in the kitchen. So I think they're actually kind of relieved that they got off the hook for formal family dinners for a couple of weeks.
We have just a few more minutes here. Is there anything you want to finish it off with, Alisa, or anybody else, really?
Just that we're hoping that we're going to take a little month break, and because we did turn of the screw this past sort of winter spring when COVID first hit, we went back to it's like, hey, let's be innovative, let's be creative, let's see what we can do here. And so we did turn the screw, and I think that's available on YouTube, and if anybody would like to see that, I can sneak you the link. But then this link will be up for probably about 12 hours in case folks want to come back to it and watch the show again or share it. I'm not going to say that if they share it in a few days, will it be gone? I don't know. I don't want to say for sure, but in the next month, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and regroup and quite possibly do this again for the fall show. We were going to do a live performance of Turn of the Screw in October, but because of the COVID-19 limitations on public gatherings, probably won't be doing that anytime soon, just for everyone's safety. So with that in mind, trying to come up with more innovative productions like this one and get better every time we do it. Honestly, the first one we did, we had 2 people, and we had and me and the stage manager Jenn, and we did it and it worked well, and we were like, let's do it again, only let's add another person or another 2 people, and let's see how that goes. And now we've accomplished that task, and now it's like, okay, now how we can get better and better and better and continue to be creative and continue to create the stories and the art that people truly really want to enjoy, because a lot of people miss theater. I mean, I miss theater. I miss live production. I miss going and having rehearsals and hanging out with these guys. I've had the pleasure to work in person with all of these actors. The only person I have not actually met is Jenn Lindell, our stage manager, who's been she has the patience of angels dealing with me, and because I freak out easily, and with tech, you know, it's an easy freak out.
Million hats in this production, as you always do.
Yeah, I take on a lot, but also I have a great team behind me, and it's I mean, I can't do it alone. Obviously, you guys and everybody, you know, this isn't a solo act. This is a team act. It's a team experience, and a teamwork is all the way, and I'm looking forward to the next, kind of.
Yes. And we can't do it without the audience at home either. So thank you guys so much for coming.
And please, yeah.
Feel free to keep rolling those in, and we'll keep putting out awesome performances. Thank you guys so much for coming tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.
Can I leave my cam A?